So here we are on Monday the 10th of October. We've arrived in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and it's a dry but chilly day today, and we're off on the hop-off harbour tour, which means we could be getting a little bit wet in our amphibious vehicle, but we'll see. So let's get going.
Hello and welcome to our Sky Princess, New England and Canada cruise. In this episode we visit Halifax, Nova Scotia, where we try out the harbour hopper, visit the Maritime Museum and then do some experimentation at the Garrison Brewery and finish up with a great night's entertainment on board.
So we've arrived on the harbour hopper, so we can bounce around the harbour on land and then go into the sea. And we'll be interested to see how wet we get.
I need to tell you a few things about the machine before we get going. We're going to run it in 3 modes today. We're going to run it on the land, in and out of the water, and on the water. So, just to give you a little background, this beast was built by the Westinghouse Company. Now, Westinghouse wasn't known for building automobiles and trucks. Right? They built refrigerators and stoves, air conditioners, things like that. So when they won the contract to build this thing, they put all of their expertise and experience in building home appliances into a vehicle. So they had never put a shock absorber, a spring, or a suspension on a refrigerator, so they didn't put one here either. So this is the hopper part. If everybody wouldn't mind, stay seated as we're moving around town, and hopefully we won't have anybody fall overboard this year. The gravel portion that is remarkably rough, and, because we put potholes in it with this machine. So it's only about the length of the machine, but I need you to hang on to something solid as we go over that gravel portion, okay? Because it's going to bob and wave back and forth, up and down. And then when I stop at the ramp, then it's all good after that.
And so we set off on our trip on the Halifax Harbour Hopper with our host Abigail and Captain Mark. Our trip was approximately 1 hour long, and it began with a brief tour around the city, going up and down the horrendous hills of Halifax. On this brief tour we visited the Citadel, St. George's Fort, the beautiful clock, which didn't work very often apparently, the Basilica, and then finally made our approach to the docks, where Captain Mike had to contact Harbour Control before gaining access to the water.
Captain Mark is going to radio Halifax Traffic Control to ask permission to enter. It's a very busy harbour, as we can see, so important to make sure we're not in anybody's way. He's going to flick on the propeller, which will turn off the wheels, and then we're a boat.
After entering the water at breakneck speed, obviously done for maximum effect, we proceeded with our tour around the docks, where we learnt that Halifax had the second deepest harbour in the world, 180 feet deep. The only harbour that was deeper was Sydney in Australia. Halifax is also home to the largest naval dockyard in Canada. It only has 2, the second one being in Victoria in British Columbia, but this was the biggest. As we continued our waterborne part of the journey, we passed by the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, which we were to visit later that day, and then turned around, headed back down and past the naval dockyards. Soon after this we headed back to the slipway and back to dry land, where we turned into a bus again. Our harbour hopper trip really was a great excursion, and made even better by the commentary that we received. After our excursion, we took a walk along the boardwalk, where we found all about Halifax's maritime history until we reached the Maritime Museum. The Maritime Museum of Halifax is really well worth a visit and has an interesting Titanic exhibition.
So this is a model of the Titanic. Very detailed it is as well.
It includes historical film footage as well as other documented evidence. The museum was packed full with model ships of all sorts and sizes, and you could actually see the workshop where people were making them there. They were all volunteers and did it just for love. As you can see, the detail on them was quite exceptional. It really was quite an eye-opener. The museum is also full of lots of other nautical artefacts, including this bell, which was a fog bell to warn people of impending doom. Amongst other displays was a display of figureheads off of actual ships that had been saved from wrecks. There was also a mock-up of an actual cabin at sea that was actually moving. If you carefully look through the window, you can actually see the horizon moving and the door opening and closing as the sea takes its effect on the cabin.
Pieces of 8? Pieces of 8? No. Got anything to say for yourself, young man? No. Don't want to talk to me? Hello? Hello? Very quiet, aren't you? Eh?
This museum also has large exhibits all about the Second World War and the convoys that fed the UK during that time period.
On the morning of the 6th of December 1917, the French cargo ship SS Mont Blanc collided with the Norwegian vessel SS Emo in the waters of Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. The Mont Blanc was laden with high explosives, caught fire and exploded, devastating the Richmond district of Halifax. 1,782 people were killed, largely in Halifax and Dartmouth by the blast. These are some of the remnants that you can see and the debris found in the aftermath of this terrible accident.
So if you're enjoying our trip to the USA and Canada, presently we're in Halifax, Nova Scotia, perhaps you'd like to consider subscribing to the channel.
And don't forget to hit that like button.
And also hit the notification bell so you can be sure to receive all our future uploads. So this morning we've been out on the harbour hopper amphibious vehicle, which was really good fun. Didn't get too wet, but a little bit. It was good fun, wasn't it?
They were really good tour guides.
They were really good tour guides, full of fun and quite comedic actually, weren't they? Yeah, Abigail and Captain Mark driving the bus amphibious vehicle. And now we've just popped along to the Maritime Museum, and that was really quite interesting. Particularly I found the Titanic exhibit interesting as well.
And we saw Merlin.
We saw Merlin, the parrot. Yeah, he wasn't very chatty though, was he?
No, he's just getting back to some sort of normality apparently. He was very upset during the pandemic because he missed all the people. So they've had to rehabilitate him and he's almost back to his normal self.
Yeah. Poor old Merlin. Anyway, so it's just gone 12 o'clock midday now, so we thought we'd...
I can smell food.
Lindsey can smell beaver tail, she's quite fancying one. But I think it must be nearly beer o'clock.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, beer o'clock then. See you soon. Well, Lindsey, we came into the Garrison Brewery here in Halifax, and we've chosen to try some flights of beer. So we're going to try these, and then we'll have some potato chips to go with them. But we've got to taste them first, haven't we?
We have.
To see what we fancy.
And see whether there's anything that you know.
Right, do you want to start at the far end?
Oh, this is going to be an IPA, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. I think that's the IPA there. You try them all, and then I'll try them all. And you can pick out your favourite. Don't like that one then. And it's the dark beer, so
To move them over a bit.
this is a hoppy IPA. No. And we got the Irish Red. See what you think of that one.
Well, that's not too bad
Oh,
actually.
you like that one? I'm surprised. And this is the one I think you might like most. So which is your favourite?
Both of those two.
The tall and the red?
Yeah.
Right, let's give it a go. Right, so I'm going to do them in the same order as you did. This is the Hetzel thing, or whatever it is. Let's try one. Not particularly. Try this one. Oh no. That's the pumpkin one, I think. Oh, no,
Yeah, I think you're right.
It tastes of cinnamon.
It's just awful, isn't it?
It's not good. Let's try and get my hands in it. This is one I think is possibly going to be my favourite. We'll wait and see. Yeah, I quite like that one. Now these are Lindsey's two favourites here.
So this is the red.
Yeah. That tastes like Watney Starlight.
It's quite nice though, isn't it?
It's easy to
Well,
drink.
especially compared to the others.
It's very inoffensive.
Not much, don't take much. It's mine.
That's okay. So my favourite is the hoppy IPA, followed by the red, then that one, and that one, and that's awful. So this is the Garrison Brewery. It's like a warehousey type place where we've had our flights to. Flags hanging up on the roof. The actual brewery's at the back of the building, upstairs over there. And then they've got a sort of retail area over the far side there. But yeah, I think if we came back here again, I'd pop in for a drink. You, Lindsay?
What do you mean came back? I'm going to have another one now.
Oh, all right. We'll have another one now then.
Really?
So, why are you going to have another one now?
Well, because it would be rude not to.
Oh, not because you can then.
Well, that's well,
What?
because I can.
Oh.
Oops. Time for another.
So we've had our tasters, so we had to go back and have a real drink now, didn't we?
Yeah, so I've got the red beer.
Irish Red,
Yeah.
which was the original beer brewed by this brewery.
Was it indeed?
Yeah, in 1997.
It doesn't taste that old. So what have you decided to go for?
I've got the hoppy IPA. It's very nice. The only trouble is it's 6.5%. So, yeah, and lunchtime drinking.
And what did you not do while you were at the bar?
I didn't get any more potato chips.
So what are you?
A plonk.
So after a great day in Halifax, it was back to the ship to see the show Five Skies. It's the second time we've seen it and we're still not quite sure what it's about.
Like this feeling, losers find a place for love up above the clouds.
So Lindsey and Shona just having their chocolate mint martinis. Action girls. Is it good? Strong. Too strong?
And so after a few more drinks at the Good Spirits bar, in the company of Nick and Shona, it was time to head up those stairs and off to bed again.